Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we're going to make a necklace using some Jesse James beads, a beautiful pendant, and this Color Trends bead mix in sage. So first of all, our encouraging word for today is smile, sparkle, and shine. And Jesse James Beads does all of those things. Okay, so this is the Color Trends bead mix in sage. It is absolutely beautiful. Look at these beads. So these are all the colors that I just love. I love these pinks and these really pretty muted mauves and the seafoam green. It's just olive green and this kind of aqua color. It's just absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to mix it with some of this enameled chain. And I think this chain matches it absolutely perfectly. We are going to use, because Valentine's Day is coming up, so this is going to be a little bit of an non-traditional colored Valentine's Day, and I have alcohol inks on my hands. I've been doing resin and seashell projects, but this is a non-traditional colored Valentine's necklace. So we're going to be using a little bit of this copper heart chain. So cute. Let's see what else we're going to need. We're going to need a little bead stringing wire. This is 7-strand bead stringing wire. I have a cute little charm here from Jesse James Beads that says all heart. Okay. I have a lobster clasp and a 12mm jump ring for it to clasp onto. I have some 4mm jump rings here and some 2mm crimp beads. There they are. And I've got 2 of the little heart. I cut them off of the chain. 2 of these little heart links. But I did not cut these. I cut the ones that connected to them, so these are closed links, and that's what we're gonna hook our strands to, okay? So I think that's everything that you're going to need. So let's go ahead and get started with this. So the first thing that we're going to do is move this chain out of the way. And move the beads up out of the way a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna take our heart chain, and it gets tangled up really easily in this other chain, so just kind of be careful. And we're going to do a multi-strand. This is going to be multi-strand, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have our little heart links on either side right here. We're going to take our heart chain and hook it to the little heart links, and we're going to hang this pendant from the heart chain, just like that. Then we are going to do a layer, I believe, of this right here, and then we're going to string a strand with our pendant on the bottom. I believe that's how we're going to do it. I kind of totally hadn't decided yet. So I'm going to start with my bottom strand, because starting with the bottom strand is a good way. I've got 2 bead mats here and they're kind of sticking together. Starting with the bottom strand is a good way to judge the length of your necklace. So let me move this guy up here. Okay. All right. Let's get that out of the frame if I can. I'm trying to clear everything off because my camera has trouble focusing for some reason on more than one item. It's very, not very multitask oriented. This camera is not. So here's our beads. All right, we've got our little hearts over here. Okay, so I'm just going to bead up this bottom strand. So you kind of have to decide how long that you want this necklace to be yourself. That's your own personal preference. But I am going to string it straight onto this heart and crimp it straight onto the heart. I'm not going to use a wire guardian. This is a necklace. I don't think it's going to be a big deal not to have a wire guardian here, and I don't want to take up the extra space because these hearts are tiny. Okay, so I'm just going to take my crimp bead and put it right on here. I'm going to go right through the heart, make a loop, and come right back around and through my crimp bead. Okay, just like that. So there's a little loop onto my heart coming right back around through my little crimp bead. I'm going to scoot that down a little because you don't want the loop to be real big. So there's my little loop going through my crimp bead. And I'm going to take this and put it in the bottom divot here of my crimping pliers. Trying to make sure that the 2 little strands aren't crossed, and I'm just going to crimp that down. Then I'm going to turn it sideways. Now that didn't crimp down very good. I think I was up too far. There we go. So do it again if you need to. And then I'm going to turn it sideways and close it right up. And here's what we have. We have this little crimped piece, strand, on this teeny tiny little heart, okay? There it is. It's tiny. It's cute though. All right, so now I'm going to string this up. So let's move that crimp bead and that heart out of the way. Let's look at the beads. These are so, so pretty. Oh my goodness. Okay. And I don't want this to be a super long necklace. So I'm going to string it. Let's see. I'm going to use this guy first. And I'm just putting the bead up over the tail of my wire. And then I'm going to do a couple of these. I'm going to use all these beads, I think. I really, really love these colors together. I just think they're so pretty. That's cute. Now, what I do want to do is I'm not stringing this randomly, so as I go, I'm going to pull these out to the side. This is a good way to make sure that you don't end up without the amount of beads that you need at the end of your necklace, okay? So as I'm stringing this end, I'm pulling these beads out. So this is everything I'm going to need to finish my other end. And you just kind of, it's a good thing to do that sometimes. That way you can just make sure that you don't run out of beads ahead of time. Okay, let's do this guy. I was going to put that bead cap straight on there, but I didn't like the way it looked. So we're going to put that one on, and then this bead cap. Yeah, and then this pink bead. These are lava beads. They're really cool. Okay, so there's that. Let's do a little, let's see. Let's do a bead cap facing away from the lava bead and put this barrel guy on. He's very sparkly and beautiful. All right, now here I am not doing my thing, so I need to take these out. Those two, pink lava bead, bead cap, and barrel bead. Because see, I only have 2 barrel beads, and if I use the other one up here accidentally, I'm not going to have it for the other end, which if you don't want to string it, you know, if you just want to string it randomly, that's fine, but I don't really want to. I want to do it to where it matches. So I'm going to put another bead cap on there. And I think we'll go this green one right here. Yeah, these colors are just so, so pretty. Then we're going to do the sparkly bead. Okay, so let's take out the sparkly and the green for our other side. I don't know that I'm going to use this one. I want to, but I would have to probably use it. I may use it with the heart, kind of like a focal. And I like these, but I'm really not sure that they're really going to fit with this. So I think I'm going to pull them out. We might use them on something later. All right. So let's do this violet colored bead. That's so pretty. Pull him out. And then I'm going to do a heishi, a spacer, and a heishi. Like that. And this pearl. Yeah, this is pretty. Okay, so heishi, spacer, heishi, pearl. Okay, this is what I've got left. Let's do this again. This is really pretty. These double barrel bead caps or whatever they're called. They're really pretty. I like them. And the lava bead. Or do I want to do this sparkly bead? I think I want to do this sparkly bead right there. Okay. So what did I do? That? Yeah. Now, let's see. Let's go ahead with a heishi bead and a spacer. This guy. So take those out. This guy. We better go pink because we're running out of pink. So I'm going to use this. I mean, we're running out of other colors, so. And I'm going to do, so there's that. So let's see, let's do a cube, the purple, the little sparkly, and another pink. And then I think I'm going to leave those two cubes out, okay? So here's my strand, and I should have, coming up the other side, the exact same things. I'm going to hang my pendant here in the middle. So let me get, we need an eye pin. We need an eye pin, 2 eye pins actually, I think. Is that how I want to do that? Well, it's going to take a jump ring. Okay, let me grab a jump ring. It's going to take an eye pin and a jump ring because this hole here is kind of big. Unless you want to use wire, but I don't really want to use wire right now. Let me get, those are my copper ones. Let me get bronze out here. There they are. So it's kind of going to take a big jump ring for that. That's a big old part. So let's go ahead and put him on here. Make sure it's going to fit. That's a big old area in there. Okay, that looks pretty good. And now I'm just going to take this bead and I might use, do I want to use those little sparklies on either end of it? This is kind of a diamond shaped. It's very pretty. I don't think I want to do that though. But this one is kind of cracked right here on the end, so I almost need a bead cap to cover that up. Let me see if I have a bronze bead cap I can pull out of my stash. That'll kind of cover that up because I don't really want that to show. Any bronze bead cap should do. I can't seem to find one at the moment. Here we go. And I should have one more. I've got my little container of extras over here. That's kind of what I'm leafing through. Looking, I usually just put my little extra metals in that container. Okay, let's see if this will work for this bead. So I'm going to put the bead cap on and the bead. Yeah, that'll cover that up. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and we're going to make a wrapped loop here. So I'm going to bend this 90 degrees. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and grab it kind of in the bend here and come up and over. Flip these up and come under. Then I'm going to grab this with my, I need 2 pairs of chain nose pliers. I didn't even get my pliers out. I grab that with my, I'm using my crimpers, which are really good for some stuff besides crimping because they have the really micro little tip on them. And I'm just going to wrap that around, straighten that loop up, and cut this right off. And we've just made a tiny little wrapped loop here. You can straighten it up with your round nose plier again if it needs straightened. And then I'm just going to hang my heart from it, from the bottom here. Just like this. Make sure that's closed up good. All right, now, and this loop is facing the right way. It needs to be this way. If it's not, just take your pliers and twist yours, but you want it to, well, wait a minute. Okay, so the bottom one needs to face the other way. So I'm going to grab this with my one plier. I'm going to grab this with my other plier, and I'm going to turn to where they're both facing the same direction. And that should be how my pendant needs to hang. No, it isn't. They need to face opposite directions, and for some reason I can never see that in my head. I have to literally do it. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing. Grabbing the top, turning the bottom. There, that should be, that's better. All right, cute. Now we're going to bead back up the other side the same way that we did. So here, we're just going to bead right back up the other side. I'm just going opposite of what I did, you know, going back up, actually the same, but going backwards. So I know that makes no sense whatsoever. It's late in the day. I'm kind of tired. So let's see here. I've got cube pink, bead cap, this little guy, and then I need this, my heishi, this guy, this little thing right here, bead cap, then our pearl, then the heishi and the spacer, and the other heishi, my lavender bead, little sparkly bead, those are so pretty, pearl, bead cap facing away from the pearl, barrel bead, bead cap facing the barrel bead, pink, this cool bead cap again, sparkly guy here, this big one, cube, spacer, heishi, sparkly. And there we have it. There's our beaded section. So now I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side that I did over there. I want to make sure that I get these beads all tucked in this tail though. There we go. It was on the outside of that spacer. So make sure that your beads are tucked in your tail from the other side so you don't have any, you know, gaps. And then we're just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to crimp right onto this little heart. So I'm putting my crimp bead on, putting my heart on, going around the heart, looping around the heart and back through the crimp bead, going through a few beads here. And I'm just going to pull this to where there's no gaps, but it's got a little movement in it. So I don't like them poker straight. I think they look weird when they're poker straight. Okay, that looks good. Let's scoot that up just a tad. There we go. I just want it to be about the same as the other loop, which is very tiny. All right, don't have any gaps in my beads. I'm gonna lay this in the back divot of my crimping pliers. Get that little heart out of the way. It really wants to be in the way, that heart does. Crimp down, turn it sideways. The little heart is definitely trying hard to be in the way. Oh my goodness, why are you so difficult? Here we go. Let gravity do the work. Here we go. And see if I can close this up. There we go. All right. Now we got a good crimp. And we're just going to trim this right off. Okay. Super cute. Gosh, I love these beads. They're so pretty. The colors are just gorgeous. Okay. So here's what we have so far. Now, we're going to do our second strand. And that is going to be this one. Now, the way I do multi-strand necklaces, if you've watched me, you know, I just lay them out like they're going to be on my body. I don't use those beadboard things. Those things are, I think are, you know, I just can't. I just don't do well with them. Some people do, and if you do, awesome, but I don't. So we are using my method here. And to do this, I just lay it out like it's going to be when I wear it. So, you know, when I wear this, it's going to kind of hang just like this. And I just lay this one in here like this. Okay? Now, I'm going to use jump rings because these little links, these little holes right here are teeny tiny. And when you trim this chain, you want to make sure that you don't cut this piece. Okay, so let me find my jump rings. Here they are, these little 4mm jump rings. And I'm just going to take it, a little 4mm jump ring here, and I'm going to put it right through this hole on here, and they are tiny. Okay, so you have to kind of, there we go. And then I'm just going to put it right onto my heart. And I want to make sure when I put this on that it's on the inside of this other chain, which we'll make sure of that here in just a minute, but it'll matter more here in just a minute. So there's that. Okay, just make sure everything's closed up good. Pulling my little heart up here. And that is how it's going to lay. So I'm going to come around here. I kind of picked my little heart up here and just, you know, I don't want it too long. I want it to, you know, obviously there needs to be some layer there. Okay, so I think I'm going to cut right up here. And you have to be real careful when you cut this. So I want to cut it to where it's the same on this side as it is on the other side, which means that I need to cut because I want to hook it through this little part right here. But this chain, the way that it faces, is not going to let me do that, unfortunately. So, because it's, you know, it faces one direction. So I'm going to have to cut on the other part. So just be real careful when you cut that you leave, you know, the little loop here to hook it on with. Okay, so I'm going to cut these two little pieces and have this loop left that I can hook it on with. Because it's just the way this chevron style chain is shaped or is made, you can't really get it the same on both ends. One end's going to have this one loop and one end's going to have the different kind of loop. And it's okay, it's not going to matter. See that little loop there? It's different than the loop on the other end. But you just want to make sure that you don't cut through that. Okay? And then I'm going to take my jump ring and I'm going to hook this on. And then we'll see, because, you know, if I want to do it longer or shorter, I can always take it back apart, you know, take it back off and change it. But I think I'm just trying to get that on the heart the correct way. Okay, there. So there, yeah, that's good. I like that. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to make sure that both of my little hearts are turned up the way that I want them to be. See, this one's not. Just like that. And I'm going to do my final strand. Now my final strand is going to be this heart chain. And we're going to have to hook it on with a jump ring because these are closed links on here. So again, just going to lay it out. Kind of see how I want it to hang. I want this to hang up just a little bit from that one because we're going to hang this charm on it right here. Okay, so again, I'm going to take my jump ring and I'm going to grab right here, and then making sure that this heart is facing the way that I want it to face, I'm going to put that one on. Whoops. These little jump rings are sometimes hard to get closed because they're so tiny. Okay. Now, and you can use your pliers like to pick these up, pick this little heart up here because it's really little, but so that's how I want that to, that's right where I want that to be, the way I want it to be. So again, I'm just laying this out. Going to pick this side up, make sure that I have the heart right. It's a little fiddly, but it's going to be really cute. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to scoot that up just a little. So I think that I want to cut it right about here. I'm just cutting that heart link apart, and I'm going to hook this other one on with my jump ring. Okay, so taking my little jump ring here, I'm going to make sure that I hook this heart on the right way. So it's the third, you know, it needs to be the top strand above this one. Closing it up really good. Okay. Just like that. All right. So there is what we've got. Let me grab my little hearts here. This one. And they'll stay in place here in a minute when we add the chain that's going up the sides. But right now they just kind of, yeah. So that is super cute. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put my chains up the side before I hang my charm on, just so I can make sure that I have everything hanging the right way. I'm going to use this chain up the sides. And I'm just going to fold this guy in half, find the middle. Whoops, I told you those get tangled up. Find the middle here, and I'm going to cut this so that the middle, so I've got, you know, equal parts on either side. Okay. All right, here we go. Now, you can measure this differently if you want. It's totally, oh my gosh, those get hung up in those hearts. It's totally up to, you know, your own creative control, like what you like with your necklace. I'm going to make sure that my chevrons are facing down because I want it to flow into this right here. So I'm going down on this side. And I'm just going to take it and hook it on to the heart with my jump ring. Just like we did before. So, put my jump ring right through there. Now here's where you got to make sure that your heart is laying the correct way. Okay, and that, I want to make sure that this hooks on the part where the heart is facing up. Okay, and it wants to tangle up in that. So let me pick this up again. If all else fails, just pick it up with your pliers. Make sure everything's hanging correctly. And then just hook your chain on. Okay, just like that. Make sure you close that up real good because these are tiny little jump rings and tiny little holes. Okay, so now it looks like that's kind of one continuous piece coming all the way around down through here. See it? How it goes the same way. Okay, so we're coming over here now. Same thing. I'm going to pick this little heart up, make sure that it's facing upward, and everybody is laying and hanging where they need to be. Just like that. Now, wait a minute. See, these two have gotten somehow, there we go. We want to make sure that the copper heart chain is on the outside here, and the leaf chain is on the middle, or chevron, whatever you want to call it. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing over here. So I'm finding the part where it makes my chevrons facing the same way, and that one, it looks like it's cut through, so I'm just going to trim it off. This little one here. Just trimming that off right there. But I'm being careful not to cut through this part right there that I need to be whole. And I didn't. Okay, good. All right, taking another jump ring. And we're going to go right in here. And then picking this up. Making sure that everything's laying like it needs to. And I'm just going to attach it right in here. And there we have it. Wow, it's really pretty. Now, you want to hold this up on yourself. Decide how you want it to hang. I kind of like the length that mine is right now. So let's lay this out. And go ahead and lay it out again on your table to where everything is kind of the way it's supposed to be. Because we're going to attach our charm. So here's our little charm. And you can put these together if you want to. These ends right here. If you just put those two together, you can find your middle link. If you want to hang it directly from that middle link, or if you just want to put it on a jump ring that is big and will float, you can do that. I'm going to hang it from that middle link, I think. Yeah. So this link right here is where it needs to go. Let me get this other stuff out of the way. See, that wants to get up in there. All right, this link right here is my middle link. The problem is I need to make sure we're going to try this and see. I may have to put it on a floating ring and just let it float because it's kind of hard to tell which way these little hearts are. But I think if I can get it on here right here, this might be, we'll see. When you pick it up, you'll obviously know if you got it on the front or the back, and this charm isn't double-sided, so it's kind of important that it be on the front. Oh, I did get it on the front. Okay. Let me see. I think I did. I've got this turned. So let me twist that around to where we don't have... There we go. Just making sure that that's all. Okay, so it's a little bit, it's hanging too low. I don't really want it touching that. So what I need to do I want it touching that? Actually, it might be okay when I put it on. I'm going to try it and see. Okay, this right here is bothering me though. It's kind of crooked. Let me fix this up real quick. Oops. This is hanging crooked. I need to, there we go. Does that help it? Yeah, that helped it. My loop here was bent, or the eye pin was bent. Okay, so I just need to make sure that this is straight. Okay, now we're just going to put our clasp on, and then I'm going to look at it and see. I'm going to kind of hold it up to me and see if I need to trim off some of the heart chain. I can, but let's put the clasp on right now. So this chain, we're just going to make sure that we have a hole on either end that we can use. So this one doesn't, so I'm going to have to trim this off. Okay, I'm just going to trim it, being careful not to cut the loop because I need that loop, see? And then this end, do I have a solid loop? No. So I'm going to have to do the same thing over here. Just cutting that off and being careful not to cut the loop. Okay, we're good. Now I'm going to take my little jump rings, and I've got my lobster and my 12mm ring, and I'm just going to hook this guy on here, put my ring on, okay, and the lobster on the other side. Okay, just like that. And there we have a really cute boho style necklace. Now let me look at this. I think I may actually leave this and just hang it in front. Yeah, I may just do that. So let's put it in the light box and take a look at it. Okay, so here we are in the light box, and I actually like that kind of hanging in front of the leafy chain. It's just going to kind of layer when it's on your body, and I kind of like the way it looks like that. So if you wanted to change it, you know, you obviously could, But yeah, I like it like that. So I'm really liking this necklace. I think it turned out great, and I love these colors. It is so cute, so boho, and just, yeah, I really love it. So check out Jesse James Beads. I do have a coupon code for 10% off your entire order, and I will link that in the description box below this video. It does expire February 28th, 2023, so you got to use it quick. But you can get on there, you can get this chain, you can get all kinds of different things. It's just a great place to shop. So check them out, guys. And thanks for watching my videos. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. I know there's lots of places that you could be besides here, and I'm so grateful that you're here and watching. So I just want you to know that, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.